Hey, look who's here. Jason Chaffetz, Fox News contributor. Jason is the beneficiary of perhaps the greatest thing to ever happen on the day that a book drops. His brand new book, The Deep State, How an Army of Bureaucrats Protected Barack Obama and is Working to Destroy the Trump Agenda, is being published today. You can buy it at the stores. The same day after the President of the United States declassified all this stuff that proves there's a deep state.
You know, I went to Congress for 8.5 years, and when I got there, I didn't know what it was. But 8.5 years later, I'm here to tell you it is real. And there's a concerted effort by a number of people. They don't want to be exposed. They're brazen in their attacks. They did everything they could to protect Barack Obama, and they don't like a disruptive president like Donald Trump, who's unveiling a lot of things and uncovering things, and today, of all days, dropping, you know, getting rid of the classification and dropping these documents so the American people can see what's really going on there.
You know what? I think, in a way, we're getting closer and closer to finding out exactly what happened between administrations. And do you think it's a coincidence, and it might be, that Holder, Biden, President Obama, as well as others with John Brennan, have been personally attacking President Trump as the more and more text messages come out that show a plot and a plan to lead to Mueller? It seems the anger is going off the charts. Do you think it's a coincidence?
No, I don't think it's a coincidence. There is a concerted effort. Remember, when Donald Trump first started, there were leaks. There were just absolute leaks that were going on. The president would have a discussion with the foreign leader. That would get out. This classified information. Yes, this is how the deep state operates. They did it to me personally as a member of Congress when I was the chairman of the Oversight Committee. I had the Secret Service, more than 40 agents dove into my background because they wanted to embarrass me, more than a dozen offices. The IRS, we detail in the book what happened with the IRS. We go through fast and furious. You go through all of these cases. And by Benghazi, I mean, they sent a spy essentially to just watch what I do. It's amazing how brazen they're. Who's the State Department? The State Department did this. That's how I open up the book and talk about it.
What is the purpose? Is the purpose just to take down anyone who is pro-Trump or anyone who is a Republican?
They don't want exposure. They don't want accountability. They want more power. And they align with the Democrats in large part because Democrats want bigger, more government. But when you have somebody like who's involved in oversight, there's always somebody doing something stupid somewhere, right? And so when you unveil that, they don't like it and they fight back. And they're fighting this president. They fight members of Congress like Devin Nunes and others. And that's how they operate.
Well, this was got me really worried in that after 2010, when President Obama's administration got shellacked and you guys took the House and got close in the Senate, then all of a sudden the IRS started going after the perpetrators, the Tea Party, because they got the momentum, they had the push behind them, they created the firestorm. And guess what? There was some outrage and there was some investigations and there was some television, but in the bottom line is they got what they wanted, a sideline Tea Party. Now, after social media led the Trump administration to the success in 2016 through Facebook and others, now you have Google, Facebook, and Twitter on Capitol Hill seemingly to sideline the voice of conservatives and Republicans again. And there's outrage, but guess what? They've done it.
No, they have done it. And you have a complicit federal government who actually pushes this in that direction. And that's what I talk about in the deep state. It is real. They do fight back. They are brazen. They don't hide in some corner. They actually use the tools and power of government to move that ball in that direction.
And a lot of the people who you suggest are the deep state are kind of the permanent government. They're there, but, you know, one administration after another, they're at the State Department, they're at the Department of Justice.
I didn't use this in the book, but there's the B team. There was this famous story about a congressman who went to go meet with the cabinet secretary, and they said no. And when he got there, they met with somebody else, and he said, no, I'm sorry, you're meeting with the B team. We be here before, and we're going to be here after. We're going to outlast you.
And giggle.
What about Brett Kavanaugh, his accuser? The confirmation hearings now put on hold. Brett Kavanaugh and his accuser are going to speak out on Monday. What's your reaction?
I mean, that's the direction it's going. The Democrats had a sole purpose, right? They wanted to delay and defeat this nominee at all costs. I think what's sort of breaking down is the Democratic story here. You know, this person, she doesn't want to come forward. But as Lindsey Graham pointed out, she got an attorney, did a polygraph test. She does an interview with the Washington Post. Those are not signs of somebody who doesn't want to come forward. So why didn't they reveal this name when the FBI was doing, I think, 6 background checks?
Why didn't Dianne Feinstein bring it up one-on-one with Kavanaugh?
There's no way to confirm her story. So at the end of Monday, I think Brian was talking to Jonathan Turley, if it's a tie and you believe both of them, who wins?
Well, look, in my book, it's more than 36 years ago, and I also think one of the compelling parts to this, there's not a pattern. You look at Harvey Weinstein and what's going on with that movie. There's a pattern. There are dozens of people that are coming forward. Cosby. But come on, this is a good, decent person. I feel for this man's daughters. What person is going to want to step in? I mean, that's so unfair to somebody.
The woman's story?
Well, we're going to hear it out. Yeah. But, 36 years ago, and from what I read, she can't tell you where it was, how she got there, how she left. I don't know that anybody can really remember 36 years ago, and she didn't tell anybody at the time. Not a friend, not a family member, not anybody.
But she does deserve to be heard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I also wish they would have the literally, 64 women who signed on this letter supporting Brett Kavanaugh. Will they bring up anybody and let them testify that they dated this person at that time and have known him for decades? I worry that we don't give a balance there to show a good, decent person.
There were times when the president shows remarkable discipline. We saw in this final stretch in the fall in 2016 to win the election, and we're seeing it yesterday. Kellyanne Conway started here at 7:30, says she shouldn't be heard, she shouldn't be attacked. President Trump followed through with that.
She should be heard.
She should be heard, she shouldn't be attacked. And then President Trump said something very similar in the afternoon. We're going to be patient. We'll put it off a little bit. He's a great guy. Enjoy him. Let's hear what he has. Let's see what happens. Do you look for that discipline to hold?
Well, yeah, I mean, the fact that they're going to actually have the hearing on Monday, we're going to hear her and we'll hear the judge, Kavanaugh. I still think he's going to be Justice Kavanaugh. I really do.
So do you think that they're going to, I mean, right now it's still up in the air what Chuck Grassley is going to do after the hearing on Monday. They could go ahead and say, you know what, we've heard them both. Let's vote.
Well, or they could just bypass that and bring it right to the floor of the Senate and let them vote. But really swings with 3 or 4 senators.
Corker, Murkowski, Collins.
That's where it rests.
Right.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Finally out. We've been talking about this for a while.
When you feel it, when you see the book and it's
book.
Actually there, yeah, it's at Barnes & Noble and all the bookstores and Amazon, and yeah.
That's great. Okay, so we've been talking about the deep state. You've been talking about the deep state for a while now. What is one thing from your book that people are going to go, whoa, I had no idea?
Attorney General Jeff Sessions isn't going to like this too much. I don't think Eric Holder's going to like it at all. And the people that were involved in trying to smother the Benghazi story, that's how I started it right out the... But we also talk about Barack Obama's team, how he took them and put them back into the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to give them literally millions of dollars. Those stories have never been told before.
Let's go back to Jeff Sessions. What isn't he going to like about this?
When I sat down with him and presented cases, one of them was a bipartisan case. A guy named Mario Arasso for this board that came before us, we unified in the oversight committee, and we said this person should be prosecuted, and he said no. No, I'm not going to do it. Because they won't prosecute themselves. When's the last time you actually saw the federal government prosecute a federal employee? It just doesn't happen. And Jeff Sessions has been the worst.
Swamp?
Yeah, he's been the worst with that. Brian Pagliano, I go through the case.
Who's he? The IT guy?
He was the IT person with Hillary Clinton. He worked 4 years at the State Department in the IT department, and the State Department said he never sent or received an email, ever. He got immunity from the federal government. Immunity, so we wanted to talk to him. He didn't show up at our committee hearing twice. We held him in contempt. We sent that over to Jeff Sessions, and when I sat with him, he said, no, I can't do it. It's too close to Hillary Clinton.
What was the most shocking?
Too close to Hillary Clinton?
That was his excuse, that it was too close to Hillary Clinton. And then he has the gall to put out a tweet and say, oh, well, I don't do anything politically. I looked him eyeball to eyeball, and that's exactly what he told me.
Is that the most shocking thing you found?
The whole book is chock full of this stuff. But, yeah, that's,
so it's real.
I mean, it's just so frustrating.
Real, the deep state.
Yes.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's keep in touch.
Thank you.
All right.